I want to speak with David Tafuri, an international law attorney. He served as foreign policy advisor to Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign and as the rule of law coordinator for the U.S. Embassy in Iraq during the George W. Bush administration. David, we've had you on before. We're grateful to have you on again. Is there any chance? I mean, I don't see how we can talk about diplomacy this early in the game, but let's be pie in the sky. Let's dream a little bit here. Considering the number of casualties, I think between 700 and 900 Israelis are believed to have been killed by this attack, by these terrorists. Now, Israel is saying it's payback time. How do we calm tensions?
Well, Israel has a right to retaliate against Hamas, and it has a right to bring as many of the people who were involved in this, both the Hamas militants and the Hamas leadership who planned and executed this operation, to justice. And that is what has to play out right now. What complicates that is that the Hamas militants took so many Israelis hostage, abducted them, and took them to secret hiding places inside Gaza. And that's going to make it more difficult for Israel to track down these militants. And it's also going to endanger the hostages as Israel engages against the militants. And that was by design. Hamas did that because they knew the response by Israel was going to be overwhelming. At some point, Israel will accomplish its primary objectives of taking out many of the Hamas militants, of degrading its military capability, and then hopefully there will be time for talking about a truce.
You know, it's interesting because there are a lot of articles saying how Israel failed. This was a huge security blunder, but Israel not quite owning up to that. In fact, wanting to save face, I'm sure. They are one of the most brilliant intelligence and defense organizations in the entire world. When you use public perception within the country and outside of the country, around the world, does this somehow show weaknesses in Israel's forces? Does this show weaknesses with the Iron Dome?
Well, this was surprising that Israel did not detect the planning stage for this attack, because it has such great intelligence capability, because it has such great surveillance capability. I would also note that Netanyahu and his party, which is a far-right coalition, took control of the Israeli government in January. And many people supported that coalition because they thought it would make them safer. And Netanyahu is going to have to explain why this failure occurred. But right now, before this attack, Israel was very divided. And this attack is going to unite Israel in a way that nothing else could. And I think the Israelis for the time being, will be united in their response to the Palestinian militants.
Let's talk a little bit more about perception, because there are a lot of people. I've been watching what people say online, hearing the debate back and forth, seeing the global protests and demonstrations, as we all have, right? And there are peaceful demonstrations. There is a broad show of support for Israel. But there are a lot of Americans, and I will say a lot, who actually have so much compassion for the Palestinian people. There are innocent lives among the Palestinians who have nothing to do with this terror attack by Hamas. They are caught in the middle. They just want to live a peaceful life in Gaza. However, there are some who are actually using this as a chance to call Hamas freedom fighters, and that this was a victory for the Palestinians. Why has there been so much complexity among people of every intelligent country in this world of what we need to actually be fighting for here, and who really is the victor?
I would first note that there's no concept in international law that you can, fight for freedom by any means. You can't, there's no basis for taking women and children and innocent civilians hostage, as the Hamas militants did. And nobody can or should justify that, including the most ardent supporters of Palestine. And here in the U.S., for those people who are, saying, applauding what the Hamas militants did, that's shameful. But the reason that there is, so much divide, across the world over this issue is because the Palestinians, have lived in a very difficult situation for many years. The Palestinians, there should be a two-state solution to this conflict. And the Palestinians should eventually get their own state, and there needs to be an agreement between Israel and the Palestinian leadership, not Hamas, but the more moderate leaders, for dividing the country, for setting borders, and for ultimately giving the Palestinians the right to self-determination. And that is the reason, is there are many people who support that, but they can't support that by any means necessary. They cannot support this kind of violence. They cannot support this type of terrorism. This has set the Palestinian cause back.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.